Hey everyone, my name is Brian, and in this video, we'll be taking a quick look at Windows 7 build 6910. This was requested by Pole and Ball Animation 6120. I love myself some Pole and Ball comics, and this is a build of Windows 7, a pre-release build that I've never used before, so I'm going into this without really any knowledge of the build itself. Recently, I did create an old operating systems playlist, so if anybody's interested in checking out some of the previous videos I've done of old operating systems, feel free to check out that playlist. This build was released in mid to late 2008, so quite a while ago, and if anybody's interested in playing with this build of Windows 7 themselves, they can download it from the Internet Archive. Before I start, here's a quick look at my system specs. I've got a 3700X, all stock clocks with PBO turned on, 16 gigs of DDR4 3600 megatransfers per second RAM, a couple of SSDs, and an RTX 2070 Super. To run this OS, I'll be using VMware Workstation 17 Player, and for the VM specs, here they are: 6 gigs of RAM, 8 total cores, 32 gigs of drive space, which is plenty for this quick demo, and the usual stuff there. It is not installed yet, so we'll be taking a look at the installation process together. And here we go. For some of this, I'll probably skip, since the installation process could take some time, and it's probably not worth showing that whole process because it is pretty straightforward. But here we are at the boot screen, waiting for that to go through. Of all the Windows operating systems, I'd say my favorite is actually the current version of Windows 11, which I am using. Actually, it's a little bit behind. It is the 22H2 build, not the up-to-date 23H2 build that's still kind of rolling out to different machines. Still waiting for it to get to the installation screen here. There we go. We'll go to next, install now, and then I think it's going to ask us which build that we'd like to select from. Here we go. So for this video, we'll choose Windows 7 Ultimate. Let's accept. Custom, and then we'll go through the usual steps here to create the system and data partitions, and then here we go. That didn't take too long, and now we will do the restart, and then it should continue the installation. Starting Windows. Boot animation changed a little bit from when it was booting from the ISO. If anybody else has operating system requests that I haven't looked at yet, feel free to leave a comment down below. That didn't take too much time. We'll give it a name. I'll call it VM. Password is recommended, but for this video, I'll just skip it. Are we able to skip this also? Looks like it. We will not work on Windows updates yet. I'm in the Central Time Zone. That is correct. This is I'll do public network for this demo. And now we wait some more. See, the activation period has expired. Let's see if we can skip this as much as possible. Haven't seen this prompt in a very long time. Hopefully it will at least allow us to use the OS for a little bit, but of course there should be this watermark in the corner. There we go. So immediately we have many leftover resemblances of Windows Vista, which is one of my favorite Windows operating systems, despite all the bad press that it received. Audio works. Let's see if we can increase the resolution of this. Not quite to 3840 by 2160. Let me install VMware Tools and see if that will give us a little bit more. I think I found a version that may have worked. I went to the VMware website, started going through some of the previous versions, still had the same issue, so I went all the way back to 10.00, and that one appears to be installing, as we see here. Haven't seen that in a while. We will skip activation once again. Yeah, we know. There we go. Mouse is very smooth now, and it looks like it bumped up the resolution quite a bit. Let's make some adjustments there. It's currently set to 3840 by 2400, which is a bit too high. Let's set it to the native res here, and then we'll go full screen. Like so. There we are. Okay, Let's see if we can adjust the scaling. According to Google, it's under Appearance and Personalization, Display. Oh, is it this one? There we go. Let's go to larger and see how that works. Okay, I have to log off first. There we go. That's a little bit better. If you are, well, I was going to say if you are watching this on YouTube, which is everybody who's seeing this, the on-screen items will still be a little bit small. But now that everything seems to be running now, let's go ahead and maybe see if we can get Windows Arrow to work. Looks like it is kind of working, and I noticed that some of these sound effects appear to be different. We'll go through some of those in a moment. That was weird. It kind of worked, but then it went back. We may need to do the performance test. Cannot complete assessment for one reason or another. I'm not too worried about that. Let's try to apply the theme one more time. So right now it is applied, although there are some glitches here and there. It could be this version of VMware. Okay, yeah, everything is kind of messed up right now. It could be the virtual display driver in this version of VMware Tools. It could be that this is a pre-release version of Windows 7. Multiple things, but it's kind of working. The animations are there. I wonder if the Windows tab animation is still there also. Yep, forgot what that was called, but that appears to be working. Let's maximize this to maybe reset it and then go back to the default theme here. And then we'll go and play with the sounds a little bit. There we go, everything is back to normal. All right, sounds, and let's play some of these. That's still there. That's original. That sound to me is different. I don't recall that previously. Or that one either. That's the same. Everybody heard that one. Maybe I'm going crazy, but a couple of those sounds sounded new. Let's go to Task Manager real quick. Very simplified compared to what we have in Windows 11. Let's go to Computer and then go to System Properties, and here we are. It detected the virtual RAM correctly and all that. Let's go to All Control Panel Items and just take a look at everything that's here. We have game controllers, that's still here in Windows 11 and some of those things. Which version of Internet Explorer comes on here? Let's see if we can actually get that to do anything. Windows Sideshow, that does not seem familiar. Okay, some sort of continuity feature. Interesting. Desktop gadgets from Windows Vista. Looks like this comes with Windows Media Center, which I took a look at in the previous video. We got some weather information, cannot connect to service. We do have internet access, but it could be that the services that these gadgets rely on are no longer available, which would not be surprising. Internet Explorer 8. Let's see if anything can load. Can we go to Google? Slowly but surely, it appears to be maybe attempting. Let's see if we can ping anything. Yeah, so we do have a network connection, and it could just be multiple things that are preventing this from working. Anywho, no big deal there. We're here to look at the OS, not the internet. We've got Windows Media Player, pretty standard. Until Windows 11, this hasn't really changed a whole lot. Let's go to Windows Media Center briefly, since again I did take a look at this in a previous video. We'll run setup later. Very high resolution. 3840 by 2160 was probably not even a thing back then. Whoops, what did I do? Did that go to full screen mode? And we are back. We will skip Windows Media Center this time. We've got Windows DVD Maker. Obviously, you can make little DVDs with it. Getting started, let's see what we got here. Find out what's new in Windows 7. Interesting. Obviously, scaling is not really the greatest. This content is preliminary and subject to change. Let's see, what else do we have in the start menu? Desktop gadget gallery, we've already seen that. Windows Defender. Service is not running correctly. That's okay. Let's see, Windows DVD Maker, already looked at that. Fax and Scan, looked at that in a previous version. Windows Live Messenger. Windows Update, XPS Viewer, ease of access, all those are pretty standard. We've got the resource monitor. That's pretty standard also. Small business resources, Windows Marketplace. What does small business resources do? Opens the web browser. Okay, that's what I figured. Windows Marketplace, I vaguely remember what that is, but for another time. Games, the usual set of games. Beginner. And I'm already bored. Let's see what else we have here. Games, whoops. The Games Explorer, which appeared first in Windows Vista, is also here. Back before I used Steam, I would add my games to that just to have them in a centralized place. Maintenance, PowerShell, and I think that's about it. I really don't know what else to look at exactly, but let's go to here and poke around a little bit. MSN is empty. Oh, before I go, let's take a look at some of these other widgets. We'll just add everything here, see what works, see what doesn't. Anything that connects to the internet doesn't appear to work. I would like to get at least some website going. This kind of worked. It at least has the title tag, and here we go. So likely a security issue. I wonder if we can download an old version of maybe Firefox, but that's likely not going to connect, so we would have to transfer it from the host operating system. Let's see if send feedback works. To do that, I need to enter a product key, which I'm sure I can find online, but not that big of a deal right now. Everything else is pretty standard. So that was a quick look at Windows 7 build 6910. If there are other operating systems you'd like me to take a look at, feel free to leave a comment down below. But that's it with the video. Thanks a lot for watching, and I'll see you all in the next one.